Fish and Veg Limited, we believe only fresh foods are good enough for you.
It's a beautiful, beautiful day, and obviously we know that on a day like this one, we have to see energetic young men and women across the country who are just expressing what it feels like to be a young person. I'm not so sure whether I'm still a young person, but obviously at this particular time, I would love to feel young because it's a day for the young people. It's the 2023 Youth Day, and we have seen since morning celebrations that characterized this day. A lot of young people that marched to show confidence in what they can do. And I want to believe that even you at home followed the proceedings and you can confirm and testify that indeed it's been a Youth Day. Now, on a day like this one, there is a lot that is talked about. Young people expressing what they feel should be done for them. But have you taken time to look at the other side? What is it that young people are doing? How have they disadvantaged themselves? And by this, I am simply saying there is something that we have done as young people to ourselves, for ourselves. Some of the things that we have done to ourselves have really affected us negatively. And because of that, we want to look at some of the things that have impacted the young people negatively. And what am I talking about in this special edition of our Youth Day celebration, a program live here on Hope Channel Zambia, is the issue that concerns bullying. I don't know if you have ever taken this issue seriously, but we thought we should zero in on this issue and highlight some of the things that we have seen happening. And today, we hope that you will benefit from this discussion. My name is Bright Sinkozi, your host, but I'm joined in the studio by a man that has so many titles. I'll not be shy to mention them. He is a friend, a colleague, and obviously for those of you that know him from the other life, he is a pastor. But today he is coming in his capacity as a counseling psychologist. I'm talking about Chama Serenje. So I don't know whether to call him Counselor Serenje or Pastor Serenje, but I'm so privileged to have you on the program today. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Which one would you want, Pastor?
Whichever you prefer.
I understand. So we are so glad to have you on the program. Today we want to discuss about bullying. Yes. I don't know if you have been bullied before. I can testify here that I have been bullied, but not to a greater extent that would make me really think of doing something extreme. And because I am talking about extreme, I want to show you a clip of a young boy who wanted to kill himself because he was bullied. After that, you and me get into the discussion. So let's take a look at this clip, and then you have your say. Want to hear what you have to say on this particular subject after watching this clip and how the discussion will unfold. For now, take a look.
bullying has.
I'm gonna kill myself.
This is what bullying does.
I'm gonna die right now.
So I've just picked my son up from school, witnessed a bullying episode, rang the principal, and I want people to know, parents, educators, teachers, this is the effect that bullying has.
I'm gonna kill myself.
This is what bullying does. So can you please educate your children, your families, your friends? Because all it takes is for one more instant and you wonder why kids are killing themselves.
Give me a right now. I'll freaking stab myself in the heart. You watch me. Even you too, Carolyn, I'm looking at you. You don't even do anything. And Mrs. George got me the dumbest shit in the class. I just want to die right now. I just want to bang my head into a glass. I want someone to kill me and drown me.
And this is the impact bullying has on a 9-year-old kid that just wants to go to school, get an education and have fun, but every single freaking day something happens, another episode, another bullying, another taunt, another name calling. So is there any advice or support or anything that other parents or...
You have seen for yourself what we have just seen on this particular clip, and it is evident that bullying is a real thing. I don't know if you would like to start by reacting to this that we have seen, or we embed it in the entire discussion. But I want you to start by helping us understand what bullying is.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to say it's devastating seeing what bullying has done to such a little boy. And bullying, and from that I would like to say that bullying is simply youth aggression, okay? Youth aggression, and at the heart of this aggression of youth violence, as CDC defines it, at the heart of this is power imbalance. Okay, so you have one person that assumes a higher or a more powerful position than the other. It could be physically, emotionally, or socially. Okay, so physically it could be somebody who is, maybe bigger than you in terms of body size, okay, bigger than you in terms of maybe age, okay, or in terms of status. There's some people who come from rich families, okay, and as a result of that imbalance, because with what I've said comes some form of imbalance, okay, so as a result of such, one who assumes the higher position or the most powerful position begins to tease the other one, to intimidate the other one, to talk down on the other one. And so that's what bullying simply is. Okay, name calling, okay, mislabels, they'll label you something. So that is what generally consists of bullying.
There are quite a lot of things that you have brought out already, yes. And with what we have seen, we can already tell that this has devastating effects that would make somebody feel unwanted in society. But then, with your definition of bullying, would you say bullying is a problem in our society today? Yes,
bullying is a problem, and it's a problem because, and most importantly, because of the emotional and psychological effects it has. Okay, so bullying has got far-reaching effects. One of the common ones is how it makes somebody develop low self-image, low self-esteem. Okay, you begin to feel so low. You begin to feel so low of yourself. It makes one feel alienated. Okay, and apart from that, you know, the challenge that bullying has is that it actually creates a bully out of the victim, because you as the bully, you bully that one. That person also look for somebody who is inferior to them, or somebody they can have more power over. Okay, so it has got those far-reaching effects. Apart from that, we see, just like the young man in the clip that you played, you know, having made somebody feel less of themselves, hopeless, or, you know, not needed, or feeling alienated, it can make somebody become suicidal. Okay. After all, being bullied, you know, because you see, one of the worst part about bullying is that it targets certain things about the individual that they cannot change. For example, if, let's say, like you've seen the young boy in the clip, he's a young boy living with dwarfism. He's a dwarf. Yeah. So now, how when they are mocking him about being a dwarf, it makes him feel sad, right? Now, when something makes you feel sad, you obviously have two options: either to change it or to make peace with that. Yeah. Now, apparently, this young man fails to make peace with that.
Couldn't contain it.
He couldn't contain it. So now he has to change it. Now, can he change his the way he is? He can't.
Which is
so if he can't change that, the next thing is, let me die.
Better off not alive.
Exactly.
So that these guys will not continue doing what they're
exactly. So bullying mostly targets at certain things about the individual that they cannot change. Maybe your complexion, okay, you're dark, okay, or maybe your body weight. Some of them could be changed. Somebody, you could do something about it, but it's not so easy to just do something.
Wake up and say, today I'm going to be 70 kg.
Exactly.
From 100.
It takes time. I think you and I remember there was a time I used to do workouts, and they were very intense workouts, but I would only lose a kg in a week. Okay, now I'm trying to imagine people with a busy schedule. Yeah. You've got a busy schedule, probably you're doing workouts, but maybe you're losing maybe 0.3 kgs.
Yeah, very insignificant.
Yes, so now at the time, during that period that you want maybe 25 kilos off you, okay, it would probably take you, I'm not sure, but it may take you some months. Now,
even years, because there are times when you will not be consistent in
exactly.
doing that.
But
and the funny part about losing weight mostly is that when you feel like you want to lose, you're actually gaining.
Exactly. Now, the bully will not wait until you wait until that period of you losing weight elapses. No, they will not wait. They'll continue bullying you. Yeah. So between the time you start doing your workouts and the time you are expected to lose the weight that you want to lose, the bully will still be doing his work of bullying. So it has got devastating effects, and to some extent you find that even if you're working on your body weight, because the bully continues mocking you, you might even lose the interest to do that. Yeah. So these are the issues. It also can lead to depression, because remember, depression is simply persistent or continuous sadness. Yeah. Okay, and it can become very dangerous. It can become clinical. Okay, major depression. Okay, anxiety can lead to anxiety disorder, because let's say, for example, you go to school, and you know people mock you about, tease you about something. It could be your complexion, the size of your head, your weight. Because you do not like that, you'll be living as if you walk on eggshells. Now today I'm going to school. What time is the bully beginning to bully me? Won't he be kind to me? So you're being too expectant, such that it even diverts your attention. You're not going to concentrate. So that in itself makes bullying a big problem.
If it is a problem, I'm going to ask you a question that will require a yes or no answer. Okay. If bullying is a problem, can we control it?
Yes.
Okay, fine. If we can control it, that's fine. But then, let me ask a twofold question. Who is likely to be bullied? I've gotten your response, but then who also is likely to bully? Okay.
I love that. Okay. Very intelligent question. So who's likely to be bullied? Mostly I would say it's any youth, any young person is likely to be bullied. However, there are certain groups or certain populations that are more likely to be bullied than the others. Okay. I'll give an example. you know, people coming from poor backgrounds. Okay, people with you know, who are notably you know, big. Okay, I'm trying to avoid. I'm avoiding using the word fat. You know,
but that's reality. But I say it. People that are clearly visible.
Okay, clearly visible. Okay, yeah, people with who are dark in complexion, visibly so. Yeah, and also people who are differently abled. Actually, those they have issue. They face a lot of bullying. Okay, as we could see in the clip. Apart from that, issues of race, you could be bullied based on your race. Okay, depending on where you are. Okay. Yeah, and also gender. You know, a girl is more likely to be bullied than a boy. Okay, you know, we live in a society where boys are, you know, these, yeah. But you see, one thing I want to say about bullying is that, unfortunately, bullying is a behavior that looks for faults, even when you're perfect. Just like you are saying, you've been bullied. I doubt if there is a single person who's never been bullied. I think what differs is the extent. Okay, you could be looking this handsome. I'll give an example. You could be light in complexion, but somebody would still say you look. I remember when we were growing up, would say, "Those who are tomato, you look, you're too light like a tomato." So we'd call them tomato.
You are light but not attractive.
You're not attractive. You know, such things. So bullying has got no limits. You may be this arguably perfect, handsome, beautiful, whatever. But the bully will always find something about what...
there should be a defect somewhere.
Somewhere. Okay. And they'll capitalize on that.
But dental formula.
Dental formula. You know,
I hope I'm not bullying anyone.
Yeah, so anyone can be bullied, but there are certain populations or certain classes of people that are more likely to be bullied. And we need to put an NB there that, unfortunately, bullying has got no limit. You can be bullied even when you are arguably perfect.
We did watch a clip, and as a result of bullying, we have seen a young person. I'm not certain of his age, but we see somebody that is saying, I'm better off out of this life because I can no longer contend this. So that's just one component that we have seen. If one is bullied consistently, what are some of the things that are likely to be the end results? Okay, so I would like to say, first of all, that bullying takes different forms. Okay, there are actually some bullies who will bully you, and this is very common. This is the most common form of bullying. Will bully you and you can't even open up because of the nature of the bullying. Okay, so in this case, if you see your child coming back home with certain things that they went with to school or to play, because bullying can happen at school, it can happen in the community where they're playing from, it can happen also at church. Bullying can take place wherever people are interacting. So if you are seeing, if you notice missing items, your child goes to school, but maybe the pencil they went with is not there. Okay, the bully might have grabbed the pencil from him and said, "I'm gonna beat you if you report or if you tell anyone, or I'm gonna, you know, start mocking you about this and you'll be miserable." So the child will keep the boy or girl will keep quiet because they're trying to protect. Yes, they've been threatened. So if you notice certain items missing, you should be on the lookout for bullying. I know, yes, it's in the nature of young people to lose things, but do not just take it like when you see they're coming home with maybe the lunch box missing, the set missing, one book missing, a pencil, whatever it is, the jersey missing, be on the lookout for bullying. There could be bullying. Apart from that, loss of interest in playing. Okay, suddenly your child just loses interest in playing. Okay, or go and play. They don't want to. Okay, loss of interest in going to school. Okay, I know it's somehow we've made it look normal that kids don't like going to school. Okay, well, I don't know. Not in this generation.
I don't know to what extent that could be true, but in most cases, when a child does not want to go to school, they could be victims of bullying. Okay, because there is a monster at school. okay, who they don't want to face. Okay, they're traumatized. Okay, you can also notice this through drop in grades. If your child suddenly stops performing well. I'll give an example. I had a client last year whose child was doing well, or had been doing well anyway from primary, grade 8, but grade 9, term 1, term 2, the results were not okay. So the mother approached me for counseling, to start counseling the daughter. And she told me to say her results had just drastically the results dropped, and it was, you know, that thing where you're able to tell that if somebody was brilliant, something just happened, something normal happened, but it made them their results drop. You can tell, but this one was just bad because the results dropped from somewhere, the end of term results, maybe from 400 plus to somewhere 30 something. Okay, and so she was so concerned. Yeah. But this girl couldn't open up to the mother. Parents. So she engaged me, and when I did investigations, I discovered that there was a bully at school. Okay, that made her start feeling the way she was feeling. She was feeling suicidal. She started, injuring herself, self-harming. Okay, she would get a knife and cut herself when she's angry, you know, and she hated how she looked. Now, after, of course,
it as a result of what the bully was?
Exactly. Okay. The bully made her start hating going to school. The bully made her lose self-esteem. Self-esteem, and also just focus. So instead of focusing on studies or schoolwork when they were or whenever they were at school, she would try to do everything to look or to seem good in the eyes of the bully, so that the bully now can say something positive. So as a result, you see the energy is redirected. Yeah. Instead of focusing on schoolwork, she focuses on what can I do to please the bully. When she's given food or money at home, she would try to pamper the bully, you know, so that the bully doesn't speak ill about her,
so
you know.
Trying to win the bully.
Exactly. Now,
side.
that diverted her attention, her focus on, important things. And so her results dropped, her performance dropped. Okay, she started performing poorly. So after a series of, sessions, I'm impressed to actually say, I'm not even ashamed, when they wrote their exams, she got about 500. I think must have been 502 or 506, somewhere there. It improved. So it helped her improve. The therapy sessions helped her improve the performance. So what I'm trying to say is the performance drops. The performance at school drops when they're being bullied. Apart from that, their eating patterns. Don't just say, no, he's my son. I mean, he plays too much these days. That's why he has lost appetite. Or maybe he does this. Losing appetite could be a serious sign of your child being bullied.
You're watching a special edition on the Youth Day, and today we are discussing bullying. My guest is Pastor Chama Serenje, but wearing in this particular program the hat of a counseling psychologist, and maybe that's why you are able to hear all these sessions. And so we are privileged to get to know that we are going to receive this counseling, especially as parents. And we would love to hear from you. Obviously, you can slot in your comments for those of you that are watching via Facebook or YouTube. You can give us your comments on in the comment section, and we'll be able to have a look at them and just see what you have to say regarding bullying. And have you been a victim of bullying? We appreciate to hear from you and how you navigated through that problem. If at all you have failed to navigate through that particular problem, it becomes very important that you also give yourselves an opportunity to really follow through this program, and maybe you are going to find an answer to what has been bothering you for a very, very long time. And just before we take a break, Pastor, I almost said dog. Like I said, you're wearing so many hats. Anyone can be bullied. Exactly. From your submission. And obviously, anyone can bully another. It's very common. But let's zero into a home scenario. We've concentrated outside the home. Do we have such a situation where siblings relatives, cousins, uncles, and all that tend to be perpetrators of bullying in a home setup?
Yes, if you remember how we define bullying, we made mention that at the heart of bullying is a power imbalance.
Right.
So here is a home setup. Let's talk about maybe just a small family where you just have father, mother, and children. Okay, 4 children. I come from such a background. Okay. Now, obviously, there's the oldest, second born, maybe third born, and the youngest. Yeah. Now, that happens too, because remember, their older siblings would want to maybe have certain things, which privileges. I'm sure you know the way the way the setup is in the way it is in our African society. Usually, kids are more favored by parents. The younger ones, okay, maybe the last born, maybe they're given something. They're given nice things. Yeah. Now, the brothers may be wanting those things.
Jealous of
yes.
That, because why giving him or her instead? Where's my share?
Where's my share? So one of the ways, and I'm sure you know, last borns or younger ones are usually very selfish. They wouldn't want to share.
Thank God I'm not.
Okay, we praise God for that.
Yeah.
Now, as a way of getting that from the young one, the older one would employ certain blackmailing techniques. Yeah. Okay. That's if you don't give me, I'm going to tell mom you did this, or maybe if you don't give me this, I'm gonna be teasing you over this and that. Because there's always something that the kids are teased about. Okay, maybe let me just give an example of myself. Okay. I know I've got different brothers. I'll not mention who, but there was one who used to like.
Are you the last boy?
Yeah, I'm the last boy.
Now I know. I'm dealing with the last boy.
Yes, so
let me hear you.
So I had one brother that used to like mocking me for the size of my head. Okay. And he used to like say, no, you've got a big head. So I never used to like hearing that. Yeah. So whenever my parents would give me something, and maybe he wants to get it out, obviously not resist, but he would tell me to say, I'm gonna be telling you, I'm gonna group up with your friends to start to tease you. Okay. And because I don't, yes, and because I didn't like that, I'll just, let go, release, yes, if it's money, if it's, now such happens. Now, that can happen even in an extended family setup. In short, bullying can take place in any place where children
as long as
or
there
young
are people that are living together.
Yes.
Okay, so is it only synonymous with young people, youths, or it is still expected in your older age?
Okay, so now I've been emphasizing so much on youths because obviously it's
a youth
day.
Yeah, I understand.
And secondly, because that's the major thing. However, even in adults, even in big people, it can be found. Remember, these young people grow up. So if you are damaged as you're growing up, you obviously don't expect a miracle when you are old. Yeah. You obviously they say old habits die hard. Yeah. Okay, that's where now even issues of cyberbullying come in.
All right.
Okay.
We will talk about cyberbullying in a little while. For now, let's take a break. When we return, we zero into all these other aspects. I was actually anxiously waiting to hear the aspect of cyberbullying because today, people are excited using the buttons on their phones and they're able to bully anyone, even the people they don't know. How do we handle such? Let's take a break. We have more on the other side.
Hello guys, guess what? I'm a registered Campori delegate. So this thing will be very memorable and exciting because the activities that will be taking place are actually linked to academic career pathway, such as artificial intelligence, computers, mechanics and obstacles, and so on. The Campori will be in April, and the theme will be anchored in Christ. And you know the other exciting thing about it? There will be courses such as gardening, fishing, and poetry.
Some of the activities will be under obstacles. Some they will be under survival skills. Some also they will be under fun. Apart from all these things which will happen, the registration is only 120 kwacha. And our deadline will close on 31st of March 2023. If your child child has not yet registered, take this opportunity now to register, and so that we can have more pathfinders in this camporee at Emas.
The venue where I'm standing is a venue for Camporee 2023 at Emmanuel Seventh-day Adventist Church, which is seated for a land of about 250 hectares. 5 kilometers from Chisamba is a boarding school for girls and the boys.
Our speakers are as follows. We have Pastor Ivan Guatringa, the SID Youth Director, who will come and be our speaker. We also have Pastor Angel Chipuru coming from Northern Zambia Union Conference as one of our speakers. Those are our speakers. Thank you.
And this thing will help you be personal, economically independent. Okay, guys, see you there.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. It's a special edition of the Youth Day, activities that are happening countrywide and here on your number one for religious discussions. And today we are looking at something that affects anyone. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how many times you pray in a day. But if it does happen, it surely affects all of us. At the start of this program, those of you that are joining us now, you will agree with us that there is something that we showed, which is as a result of bullying a young boy, very, very young boy, of course, with a certain defect in his appearance, which others capitalized to make him feel bad to a point where he feels he has nothing to do with life anymore. The best is he kills himself, whether by hanging or by shooting himself. It doesn't matter as long as he can no longer experience that problem. I have a guest in the studio, Chama Serenje, pastor and counseling psychologist. And the reason we brought him here, it's because of the counseling, the psychology aspect of his profession, and he is helping us dismantle that. Before we took a break, Pastor, we just went closer to what is the biggest problem today, cyberbullying. Every one of us, especially the young people, are on social media. And on social media, there is everything that happens there. Some things good. Like now we are streaming this program on Facebook. It's a good thing. But beyond that, even while we sit on this program, it's very possible that somebody can just, comment something negative. When you take a look at this after the program, you even say, but why are they doing this? Why are they saying this? You probably are not a familiar person with television, and because somebody says something, there is a post that we made on our Facebook page of one pastor, and then everyone was excited about what he is doing. He's just recently deployed. I think you know him. And then somebody just, out of everyone, out of all the good comments, he just came in and said, but let him cut his beard. And then I looked at that comment and I said, I pray he does not see it. Because obviously, it has a way of reducing somebody's power, zeal, and everything like that. Cyberspace has become so toxic. How do we navigate through this? How do we handle it? What would be your advice to the cyber bullies and also those that are bullied via cyber?
Okay, I like that question. So throughout this discussion, we've been looking at the
physical one.
Yes, or let me say bullying in the context of young people, most likely kids.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, that these kids grow up, and the same the same mentality will also grow up. Will actually advance from a classroom or the community where you are playing and bullying each other at that level to an advanced level. Now, one thing I would want to say about bullying, please let's not underestimate its effects or its power. I'll give an example, though this is a bit different from what we're discussing. The issue of genocide that happened in Rwanda. It was something that was just simple, where somebody goes on radio and makes some statement here and there. But when you look at the far-reaching effects of what happened in Rwanda, it was, I mean, it's devastating. Even up to now, I mean, I went to university when I was doing my first degree with a lot of Rwandese, and when you look at the effects that this genocide left on most of those people 29 years ago, you can really be sad. That's the same thing with bullying. It looks simple because you've got bundles, you're bored, and you just want to comment, and it ends there, but it has got far-reaching effects. I'll give an example. I saw, just like you said on Facebook, I saw a certain South African young girl. She's in her secondary school. She posted a photo of herself, and the caption was reading, "I can grab your boyfriend," meaning she's beautiful. Yeah. And then because of the way she looks, people started mocking her forehead. They're saying, "Oh, you've got this kind of forehead. My boyfriend can't what? Hey, this." I mean, now that's a young girl. Okay, it looks simple, but she'll grow up with this low self-image. Okay, to reduce the concentration, instead of the concentration being on school, it will be redirected to trying to maybe beautify herself, trying to look better. These are girls who even lose, or these are people who end up, as they grow up, they'll not have, they'll not know what, how to say no. Every guy that comes their way, they'll say yes, because to them, they feel they're ugly, so this is an opportunity to grab. To grab. Okay, even if this guy doesn't mean anything. Okay, so cyberbullying, we should take it seriously. I think, I don't know, honestly, I don't understand why we have, why people become so courageous behind the keyboard. Okay, as some people may call them keyboard warriors. But when you meet them in person, actually, you actually be shocked. These are people who look humble. Let's not allow social media or cyberspace to be used as a tool to demean others or to disrespect others, because simple as it looks, the effects are the same as it may be when you meet them. I would like people, every time they are commenting on social media, to imagine they are actually talking to that person one-on-one. Some of these people may be celebrities, and you think maybe they don't read through these comments. They do read through. And even if they'll not read, other people may read through and tell them, okay, or repeat that, or create an image out of what you've written about that person, and or create an impression about what concerning what you've written about that person, and then they'll be pushing that perception about that person, and that person, it will affect them. And let's maybe underscore this point, that there is no one who's immune to the effects of bullying. Do not look at someone just because he's a pastor, he looks so spiritual, or he's a leader, he looks so. The contents that we post or we write in the social space can affect anyone. Okay, whether it's presidents, ministers, what, as long as they're a human being. Because remember, they're just human beings like us. And the way you feel is the way they feel. So do not think just because you're behind a phone, you have the right to do that, and everything can just be done anyhow. No. Well,
I'm glad you're addressing this, because if I were to divert your attention, and our focus is on bullying, especially something that concerns the young people. It's a day for the young people, but bullying is a problem, like you are putting it. It's a problem for everyone. It affects everyone, and adults who are not really spending much of their times on social media, I think they are easily hurt. I see it around. For example, a media house like this one probably has gone through something that makes it difficult, for example, to air this particular program, and then somebody is going to wake up and say, oh, there are unpalatables against the media house, and this media house has a lot of people coming from different backgrounds, different characters. Instead of building, then we are destroying. Apart from that, you are a pastor in as much as you are a counselor. Your own members, just imagine in a single day because of a certain thing that was not done correctly in your district, and then people begin to say all sorts of things. You wouldn't want to continue serving them because you know at the end of the day that these people actually don't even like you. So when the leadership does not move you from that particular entity, it means your performance in that district is going to be below par because you have been led through that particular aspect. But let's get back to the young people, really, as we probably get.
Maybe before, maybe before you get to that,
Sure.
the other thing I wanted to say about cyberspace. Remember, mostly the content on social media, or let me just say cyberspace, they remain there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And Facebook will even remind you.
Exactly. Now, you know, in life we all look forward to being better people.
Sure.
Today, somebody may not be exactly the way you'd want them to be, or prefer them to be, and you'd mock them on the social media and this and that. But tomorrow they may want to be different people. But due to the contents that you've been posting about them on social media, that can prevent somebody from being a better person. So you're denying yourself as a society, you're denying yourself of having good people in future, okay, because you've been posting this, okay, this, you even write an article, this and that, okay. I know of people who are now trying to be better people, but things they did 10 years ago, in 2013, 2014, you find they keep on being resurfaced.
Yes. Not that I want to cut you short, but I think I read a post of one of the public figures that we have around this country. Okay, she's the one that actually posted it. I saw it from her. I think it was on Twitter, but she shared it on Facebook. And this young man says, who then would marry such a girl who already has, is it about 2-3 children? And well, it was courageous of her to post it so that everyone would see and say, don't worry, these things do happen. Maybe she has developed a thick skin because these things have been repeatedly said against her. But imagine somebody just coming out in the public and say, you can't get married because you already have children. But then, have you checked the circumstances that led her to getting children from different men, and she ends up not getting married?
Exactly.
So all these things are piling on social media, and they will still remain there for a long time to come.
Yes, and actually, sometimes the other thing which I would like to say is, yeah, she may, I'm not really trying to make an opinion out of that, but she may even say, no, it's fine, this and that. But the truth is, if you are to sit down with her behind the camera,
she's at pain.
She's at pain. That's the truth. Okay, so let's remember that in as much as you think you are just on your own, our society is interlinked. Today you're living in Livingstone, tomorrow you'll be in Lusaka, the other day you'll be where, and the content, the bullying that we do in the cyberspace can actually create monsters that are going to come and injure you. They may not injure you directly, but they'll injure your future, your children, or somebody connected to you, and to give you a responsibility to start repairing those. Okay, because I mean, here you are, you've been bullying this one, and remember what we said about bullying. It creates monsters out of the person who's being bullied, and they would also want to do the same to others.
To revenge.
Exactly, revenge, or their behavior, because of being bullied, they will have these maybe anger outbursts and so on and so forth, which may end up directly or indirectly still coming back to you to affect you. Something you started comes back to you.
All right. Now that we have said about all this, it's an ugly situation, and none of us, in as much as we are victims, we are perpetrators, I think none of us would want to experience this. Let's get into the counseling session, because I have a counselor now. What would be the telltale signs, really, that my child is being bullied at school? In other words, what would be the warning signs that a child is being bullied?
At school?
At school, at play, at church.
Okay, so at school, like maybe we earlier said, their performance will drop. They would stop. The interest of going to school would drop. Suddenly they feel like, today I'm not going. Tomorrow I'll not go. Even just doing homework, you can see that the interest is gone. their appetite will drop, will become bad, you know. Then also their interest to go playing with their usual friends or their ideal friends will, they will lose it.
Drops.
Yeah, it will be lost. Yeah, so I think basically that's it.
The things
then also they'll be losing things. Okay, they'll come home, maybe they went with a jersey, okay, but they'll come home without it. Maybe it's school items, the pencils will come missing. They'll come back without the pencils they went with to school, the books, and so on and so forth. Maybe the lunch bowl, you know, yeah.
Right. The things that we take for granted, and we think it's normal.
No,
but then, now that we have been opened, what should we do in an event we begin to notice these signs in our children?
Okay, so it's important that children are taught assertive skills. Okay, the ability to stand up for yourself. Being assertive basically is ability to respect somebody, but also not allowing them to disrespect you. Stand up for yourself, because there are few kids who are able to do that. Remember, at the heart of bullying is power imbalance. Right. So here is a child coming from a rich family. You know, I actually had another parent whose child was being bullied by an I don't know whether that'd be right to say the race, but yeah, it was the kid was going was at a school where it was in a class, same class with a white girl. Okay, so because of the race of the other girl, somehow the child was feeling intimidated. So when she told, "Don't do this, bring this," she would just, you know, give out. You know, so at the heart of bullying is power imbalance. So you need to teach your child assertive skills. Okay, respect your friend, but at the same time, don't allow them to disrespect you. Yes, they may have a different race. Yes, they may come from a richer family. Yes, they may be taller and you may be shorter. Yes, you may be chubbier than them or whatever, but do not allow them to disrespect you. So those assertive skills, of course, assertive skills, as much as parents can help, but I think professionals are more likely to do a better job than...
So you're suggesting that in an event these things are observed, then quickly they should engage a counselor?
A counselor, yes. A social worker or a psychologist. I think even a psychiatrist can do that, but mostly psychologists or a social worker, they're able to help with such. Apart from that, find a good company for your children. Okay. That if they're at school, they'll be around them. And of course, in that company, maybe you can just teach them certain things that they shouldn't allow come, you know, in between or among them. Okay, so that if, let's say, you do not, there are those parents who do not go to pick up their children have to walk, because bullying actually happens a lot when people knock off. Yes, along the way. Okay, so give them help find good company for your children, so when they knock off, they are working in that company, some safe space kind of. Then there's this thing, and I remember I was once taught this by my father. I think I must have been in grade 4. I had a friend who used to bully me, you know, and that guy was very powerful, you know. Now, every time I came telling my dad, you know, complaining, so sometimes you'd, you know, when we were passing, because we had to pass through our, like near our home, his home was like far ahead. So we quickly ran into the house and tell dad, this guy is doing this and that. And when dad would come out of the gate, the guy would have run away. Now, you know what dad tells me? He tells me that, okay, you know what? When he tries to beat you, just beat him back also. You know, but that's not safe. Okay? Yeah, sometimes it may work out, but that's not safe, because you are radicalizing the younger ones to, you know, to become violent. And the worst part is, what if your child loses? Or even if he wins, but what if he assaults, they assault the other one? So do not teach them to fight back. Okay, then help your children find somebody they feel safe to talk about the issue. Okay, it could be a teacher, it could be a counselor, like we said. Sometimes teachers may not be the best, because not every child that has got a good rapport with the teacher. Okay, so if your child doesn't have a good rapport with the teacher, find a counselor.
Right, unfortunately, we are rushing against time again. Okay. But then let's come to the other side. You have talked about what happens in a school setup and all that quickly. Does the school really have a role to play to reduce bullying at school, especially, or even in our youth meetings at church, especially where it's an organized setup, school church? Can the church, the school, play a certain role to reduce bullying?
Yes, actually, you've said the church, school, I would even extend it, even family.
Okay.
Okay, so what I would say generally, the leaders in this case, in the school, we've got teachers, and of course prefects. Though prefects could actually be bullies themselves.
Yeah.
But let me say leaders, the teachers, prefects, in the church setup, leaders at church, in the home setup, parents. It's important that you talk to kids about this. Okay, because one thing I'll tell you about young people, it's either your child is being bullied or they are the bully themselves.
Right.
And now there's something that, I know time has run out, but there's something that we did not talk about that I would like to say.
I was coming to the last question, which was what I would do as a parent if my child is a bully.
Is bully. Okay, now, bullying actually affects the bully themselves, the person who's being bullied, and it's also bystanders. Now, the bystanders are the people that actually mostly, when we talk about bullying, we don't look at. Now, how does bullying affect the bystanders? I'm here, Bright is being bullied. Oh, you've got a big head. Ah, what? They talk down about on you, you know. They say all sorts of things that will make you feel sad and make other people laugh. Okay? Now, me as the person who's, as the onlooker or as the bystander, I'll be scared to have any encounter with that bully or to be in this environment because I'll be feeling probably I'll be the next victim.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll have that. It can lead to the bystander having anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
Okay, and also develop a sense of fear to be around that. So if it's at school, you find that I'll be like,
So it's what would call passive effect?
Exactly. Okay, so parents do not think, okay, I've done a background check, my child is not being bullied, I'm safe. No. If your child is not being bullied, there may be a bystander, and that still affects them. And, you know, it can still have far-reaching effects. Okay, so like I said, now coming back to your question, I would like to say that it will be important for the parents in the home setup, for the teachers in the school setup, and leaders at church to sensitize the children about dangers of bullying, and also to ask them to feel free to report any case of bullying, and also to put regulations, or let me say some punitive measures. Should somebody be found bullying, this will follow, or this or that, something like that.
Right. So I'd like to thank you. Unfortunately, time would not allow us to go on and on, but we do appreciate the information and the counseling that has come through in this particular program. My prayer and hope is that we are going to have a society that is free from bullies.
Thank you so much.
All right, we end here. This program obviously has benefited parents, has benefited young people, and I want to believe that the entire society is benefiting from such information. We have just scratched, but this can go on and on and on in your own communities, in your own home setup, in your own church setup, even at school. Counselors are here. You can call on them. I think after this session, I can qualify to be a counselor as well, and we will be able to provide such information. But from all of us in the studio, it's God bless and enjoy your youth day.